Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 2 of honors writing. This is actually our first week of legal research. We have 2 weeks of legal research, two main weeks of legal research, and then little research segments sprinkled in throughout the rest of the semester. Because really you can't write a good paper unless you have really good research. And so we'll be discussing sources and exploring sources and all that kind of thing, but we'll also talk about searching strategies, Boolean connectors, how research is kind of a very cyclical process. So we've got a lot to cover. So in this week, really what I want us to focus on is starting to explore the sources, but also really thinking about your paper topic. And that's going to be difficult for some of you, just because sometimes coming to a particular pinpoint area is difficult. You might know the general area you want to go in, but finding a topic to write on can be really difficult for a lot of people. So I've kind of set it up so that I kind of lead you in that direction. You don't have to come up with something right away. You've got a little time to think about it. But also that time and the process that I make you go through should help you figure out a topic and feel more comfortable with it, but also integrate some of that initial material that you're finding in these first 2 weeks into your final paper. So it should be really helpful to you. So there are a couple of things that I have put on the Twen page. One, I put on a paper topic sources sheet and a legal research sources sheet. Those 2 sheets, along with the research plan handout and the 3 parts of a paper proposal, we will start to use this week and kind of filter into next week. The first step of the process is really figuring out what the lay of the land is in terms of your area, right? It's what does the current literature say? What are the current topics being discussed in my area? And then once you get a hold of that, then you can narrow it down into something more specific or something that, in other words, something that hasn't been talked about as much. Maybe it's something that you feel was misinterpreted. Maybe you think there's a glaring hole or a gaping hole in the research. That's really what you're hoping to find in the next couple of weeks. So you'll turn in your general topic, but then in a couple of weeks after that, you'll turn in your specific paper topic. So don't feel nervous about getting it all done right away. The first step in the process is actually preemption checking, and that's finding out what has been talked about and what has not been talked about. That's what we'll start on next week. So to get ready to do that, I need you to do a couple of things. And the first thing is to look at some of the handouts. So I'm just going to share my screen real quick. One of the first things you're going to want to look at are some sources, and we'll go over these in class, but these are kind of the main sources that people use to find paper topics, right, or general areas to look at. And just kind of give this a quick run through, and we'll go through that. Another item that we'll actually look at are just general legal research sources. And you can see there's a bunch of databases, but some new sources to you might be California Legislative History, Congressional Research Service reports, SSRN, and even Digital Commons, white papers, and things like that. These Boolean connectors and the research tips we'll actually talk about in week 3, so don't worry about those too much, but I just wanted you to get a handle on this. Another area or another handout we're actually going to use is we are going to use this research plan handout. whenever you start any research, whether it's simple preemption checking, right, or picking your topic, to looking up sources for your settled topic, you want to immediately engage with the material. To do that, you need to start your research plan, because if you don't, research is going to drive you to drink, because you're going to go over and over in circles and circles, and you don't want to do that. So this is a sample research plan. And then this is a sample research log. Okay, and we'll discuss this as well, but I wanted you to take a look at it and see what it looks like, just so you can get an idea of what yours might be, or the kind of the areas that we're going to actually go into. Okay, so that's that. And then one of the last things I wanted to share with you is this 3 parts of a paper proposal. And again, I posted this on Lexis Twin, on Westlaw Twin and Twin Pages. So you should be able to read it and kind of digest it. I'd love for you to read it before class, to get ready for class, only because if you know what you're trying to do, when you start researching, it will make your life so much easier, because things will start to click and turn, and you go, that's what I'm looking for. Or no, that's not what I'm looking for, but this is more what I'm looking for. I'm not quite sure what that type of thing. So I want you to get used to it. But the 3 parts to your paper proposal, and these are going to streamline right into your final paper, honestly. You want to figure out what a current situation is, what the problem of that situation is, what your suggested solution might be, okay? And then you also going to want to figure out your introduction, kind of things that might be interesting, but not necessarily analytical in your paper. It might kind of lead the reader. And then lastly, you're going to want future implications. Where do we go from here, right? All 3 of these parts are really parts that a scholar thinks about, right? A practicing attorney doesn't necessarily think about future implications of what they're writing about, but a scholar does, okay? And that's what I want you to think about. So the current situation, the problem solution, the introduction, and the future implications, okay? So those are the 4 handouts that I'm really I want you to just look them over and see what you can come up with, or kind of get familiar with them before the week happens, right? Okay. The other thing that I want you to do is make sure you have your library account set up. Some of you probably have done it, some of you probably have not, but you need that account set up so that you can access databases off campus, because it's a proxy system. Let me show you that. So if you go into, and of course I can't find it, I'll go here. So if you come right in here, and basically this is the, sorry, I'm trying to move something in. If you go into lawscl.share.worldcat.org/WMS. Actually, wait a minute. You don't need to do that. Sorry. My fault. You don't need to do that. That's how I get into it. You don't need to do that, but I'll show you how to do it though. So what you want to do really is you want to go to the law school's library webpage. So you come to wsulaw.edu, you hit on library, you see Merwise and K right there. But these are the on-campus and these are the off-campus links. The off-campus links is what you want to pay attention to. So let's say you want to get into Hein Online, okay? Because you are off campus, you're going to click on it and it's going to send you to this proxy page. If you do not have your username and password set up, you need to set it up. Your username is simply the portion of your email that comes before the @ symbol. Okay, so for most students, it's just your first initial and last name. Some of you who have more common names might have a 1 or a 2 or a number with it. But generally for most students, it's the username is just their first initial and last name. You're then going to hit, once you put that in, so I'll just put in S. Eggleston, even though that's not my username. But so you just put in this and then you go to reset password. It will send an email to your student email account, and that will allow you to set up your password. Okay, so you need that to be able to get in. If you have any problems, let me know. Okay, my username on this is a little different. But once you log in, it says, oh, okay, I'm going to proxy you in. I'm going to let you in. And now you have access to Hein Online. Okay, so you have access from off campus. Okay, and that's really important. So that's what I need you to do to get ready for class number 2. I need you to set up that OCLC account and get that going. So let's see. So yeah, so this is beginning research. That's what we're going to do. We're going to start to talk about picking a paper topic and then explore some other resources that you might know or might not know, and just talk about how they are part of the whole research writing process. But I think it should be a good week. I'm actually really excited because I like it. I'm always interested too to see what your initial thoughts are for a paper topic and that kind of thing. Unlike some of you who have taken writing classes before, the field is wide open, like literally wide open. Your only limitation is going to be that you're going to want a topic that's appropriate for 15 to 20 pages. And for some of you that might prove a little difficult, but we can always pare it down. There's always ways we can do that. So don't worry about it. So get ready for week 2, your first bout of legal research. And I'll see you on Friday. Okay, I'm going to stop this share and hope you guys have a good week. Okay, talk to you later.